أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون. الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء وخاتم المرسلين وشفيع المذنبين سيدنا ونبينا بالقاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. واللعنة دائمة الباقية لأعدائهم ومنكر فضائلهم وغاصب حقوقهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: وجعلنا منهم أئمة يهدون بأمرنا لما صبروا وكانوا بآياتنا يوقنون. صلوات. Can I request the brothers to stand up and just take 2 steps forward? We are commemorating the days of Azab, Sayyid al-Shuhada. After Ashura, these are the days associated to the women and children. And of course, Imam Zainul Abideen was the head of that group. And tonight being the Wafat night of the 4th Imam, I would like to highlight one important dimension of his personality, which you probably know about it, but I just would like to put it in a proper context. And that is the role that he played, especially immediately after the events of Ashura. We have to realize that our Imam is one of the Imams appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we believe that Imamat is not an institution based on election by the people or selection by a group. This is all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And those whom He has chosen, He has equipped them with the necessary qualities for guidance and leadership. They don't need anybody's help in this matter. In Surah Sajda, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْهُمْ أَئِمَّةً. From among the people and the communities, we have appointed some as a'imma, as imams. And what is their function? يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا. They guide the people according to our command. So they guide according to His commandments. And why did He choose those people? This is the only ayat where He actually gives us the criteria that Allah uses in order to select those in the position of leadership as Nabi or Rasul or the Imam. لَمَّا صَبَرُوا وَكَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا يُوقِنُونَ. 2 qualities He says. Number 1 is sabr. That Allah says, I saw the potential among them that even if they are put in a very difficult situation, they will maintain their sabr and patience and they will not, give in. And the second was وَكَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا يُوقِنُونَ. They were on the level of yaqeen when it comes to signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So sabr and yaqeen are the 2 fundamental qualities among the imams appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salawat. And so when we look at the life of the 4th Imam, his imamat, out of the 56 years of his life, his imamat went on for about 33 years. So this is after the events of Karbala. 33 years is not a short, duration. But remember that this is a time when Imam is actually now leading a community which has gone to the lowest level of morale. Nothing could really shatter the community more than the massacre of Karbala. And it was his task to bring this community back on their feet so that they may, survive and continue. Unfortunately, some of the people in our community have this, and not knowingly or consciously, because we only know about the fourth Imam in the context of Karbala only. We don't study more about him as far as, 33 years of Imamat, what did he do? Yes, some of us, we hear the names, Saif al-Sajjadiyya and Risalat al-Huquq, but there are many other, activities that Imam was involved in. What actually stays in our mind basically are the events of the day of Ashura and the few days after that. And in that context, when you look at the example of the Imam, on a subconscious level, without, really thinking about it, the image of the Imam is Abid Bimar. It is because of how even the Marsiyas, and the Marsiyas are not wrong, because Marsiyas are talking about one time frame in history. We are talking about the day of Ashura and the Masa'ib, and at that time Imam was Bimar, no doubt about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had used this issue of his illness as a way of preserving his life, so that the Imamat continues in that generation of the descendants of Imam Hussein bin Ali alayhi salatu wassalam. Salawat. And we also know that he is the only Imam whose early days and early moments started as a prisoner, in chain and shackles. And this is where we only hear, for example, that for 20 years Imam, cried on the events of Karbala. So sometimes, without even realizing, and I don't believe any Shia has that aqidah, but on a subconscious level, tahte shu'ur mein, this concept sits in that as if Imam was kind of a weak person, not that courageous, and he would not be counted in the list of mujahideen, those who are courageous. And this is where we have to realize that when it comes to the qualities of leadership, all the Imams are equally blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that. When it comes to be a leader, there is no difference between Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, or Imam Zainul Abideen. They are, salawat, brother. Infallibility has been given to them. Ilmi ghaib is there. They are on the high level of akhlaq. And so all these qualities which are necessary for leadership, they are there. What we have to realize that the purpose of all the Imams is the same. To convey the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to preserve the message of Allah as brought by Rasulullah. However, their strategy would change from Imam to Imam. Because the strategy and how you do that, how do you achieve your objective depends on the socio-political circumstances of the time. Look at Amir al-Mu'mineen. For 25 years after Wafat of Rasulullah, the strategy of Ali was something else. We call it the years of silence. It was not really a silence. It was actually protest in a very loud way without saying much. But then you look at the 5 years of his Khilafat. This is where he comes back into the society in a full-fledged manner, where he is there even in the battlefield, ready to take out his Zulfiqar again. So it is the circumstances which will determine the strategy used by the Imam. Imam Hassan alayhi salam had a different way of looking at the issue according to the circumstances, especially after what happened in Siffin. Imam Hussein alayhi salam adopted a very different method. And so when we talk about this concept of jihad and fulfilling the duties, all the Imams are equal on that level. But every Imam will choose the way according to his own time and circumstances. Let me talk about this issue from the perspective of the fourth Imam. That when we talk about jihad, sometimes we think that Imam Hussain alayhi salam was mujahid, but Imam Zainul Abideen was a very peaceful, loving person. Kind of a calm person. only remembering Karbala and crying on the Messiah would happen. No. We have realized that jihad is of three types. One is known as jihad bisayf, where we fight the jihad by means of the sword, the weapons. And this jihad, which is known as jihad bisayf, is actually a minor jihad in Islam. And majority of Anbiya didn't do that. There are very few Anbiya who actually resorted to sword and became rulers of their own time. They are in minority. Then there is a second jihad known as jihad bil lisan or jihad bil lisan wal qalam, where a person does the jihad by his words and by his writing. And a third one is jihad bil akhlaq, where a person by his own character is able to show to the people that this is my standard. This is the standard of my father Hussein. This is the standard of my grandfather Ali. We represent the akhlaq of Rasulullah. Without saying anything, without writing anything, without resorting to the sword. And so sometimes, you fight the jihad by akhlaq. And this is where we have to realize that Imam Zainul Abideen never lifted sword. He didn't fight on the basis of jihad bisayf. But when it comes to the other two levels of jihad, jihad bil lisan wal qalam and jihad bil akhlaq, Imam Zainul Abideen is not only Zainul Abideen, he is also among Ra'sul Mujahideen. Salawat. Because in the Arabic literature, actually, they have a saying that if you really want to see whether a person is courageous or not, one of the definitions they have is kalimatu haqqin inda al-imam al-jair. To speak truth and haqq in presence of an unjust ruler, where you don't care about your own life, but you speak the truth. That is actually the sign of courage and shuja'at. It's not only taking the sword. And this is where we have to realize that this is a very important element that we have to see in the lives of our imams. Tonight I will just concentrate on what is known as jihad bil lisan, not even qalam. I'm talking about how Imam fought the enemy by his words. Salawat padne ek baar aur. The first example is actually immediately, third day after Ashura. If we take 11th evening, they started to move from Karbala, reached Kufa on the 12th. And so just 2 days or 3 days after the events of Karbala, of the day of Ashura, when the family of Imam Zainul Abideen with the women and children were presented in the darbar of Ibn Ziyad Mal'un. At that time, he's looking around and, feeling that, victory that he has attained. And he comes to the family. When he came to Imam Zainul Abideen, he asked him, Man anta? Who are you? And Imam gave his name. He says, Ana Ali ibn al-Hussein. Now, Ibn Ziyad had already been given the list of the people who were killed from the side of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And there he had actually the list of the names from the family of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And of course, one of them was Ali al-Akbar. Ali Akbar bin al-Hussein. So when Imam Zainul Abideen says, Ana Ali ibn al-Hussein, Ibn Ziyad says, Alaysa qad qatala Allahu Ali ibn al-Hussein. Even in using the words, people were so mal'oon on the low level that they used taunting words. The literal translation would be, he says to the Imam, he says, did not Allah kill Ali ibn al-Hussein? He was referring to Ali Akbar. And this is where we have to realize that, Hussein ibn Ali named all of his three sons Ali. Ali Zainul Abideen. Zainul Abideen is laqab. So he's Ali. And then you have Ali Akbar. Then you have Ali Asghar. Actually, when Hussein ibn Ali was alive, once somebody asked Imam Zainul Abideen, that why did your father name all his sons by the name of his father? Ali, Ali, Ali. So Imam Zainul Abideen went to his father and says, somebody was asking me this question. And Imam Hussein says that, I love my father so much that if Allah gives me 100 sons, I will name each one of them Ali, Ali, Ali. Salawat. So when Imam says, I am Ali ibn Hussein, Ibn Ziyad says, did not Allah kill Ali ibn Hussein, referring to Ali Akbar. And this is where Imam says, قَدْ كَانَ لِي أَخٌ يُسَمَّ عَلِيًّا. I had a brother who was also known as Ali. But Imam didn't stop at that sentence. He is now responding to the words of Ibn Ziyad where he says, قَدْ قَتَلَ اللَّهِ. Allah has killed Ali ibn Hussein. Imam Zainul Abidin, this is where shuja'at comes in, this is where courage comes in. He is there in shackles. He is a prisoner of Ibn Ziyad. But he says that yes, I had a brother who was known as Ali, قَتَلَهُ النَّاسِ. People killed him. Allah did not kill him. This is where Ibn Ziyad realizes, I am saying one thing, he is saying the opposite. Felt kind of embarrassed there. Ibn Ziyad now insists, بَلِ اللَّهُ قَتَلَهُ. He says, no, I am saying that Allah killed him, your brother Ali Akbar. And Imam now recites the ayat of Quran, Allahu yatawaffa al-anfus hina mawtiha. When the maut happens, Allah takes the ruh, but Allah is not responsible for killing of the people. So there is a difference. Yes, he died. And when he dies, the ruh is taken. Allah takes the ruh, but he was not killed by Allah. He was killed by the people, and you are part of that group. فَغَضِبَ Ibn Ziyad. Ibn Ziyad now becomes very angry. And he says, وَبِكَ جُرْعَةٌ لِجَوَابِ وَفِيكَ بَقِيَّةٌ لِلرُّدِّ عَرَدَّ عَلَيَّ. He says, you have the courage to, answer me? I'm saying one thing, you are still, arguing with me on this issue. You still have the ability to respond to me. Now he turns to his own soldiers there and says, اذهبوا به فاضربوا عنقه. Take him and chop off his neck. This is the time where Zainab bint Ali comes forward. Hussein ibn Ali had given her the task. You have to now preserve everyone. And so this is where Zainab comes forward and she says, Ibn Ziyad, حسبك من دبائنا. Isn't enough that you have killed so many of us? And then she goes and basically, she stood there in front of Imam Zainul Abidin. She says, لا والله لا أفارقه فإن قتلته فاقتلني معه. I am not going to move away from him. And if you intend to kill him, you will have to kill me first. And this is where, Ibn Ziyad realized that, he cannot really, this would have been considered unacceptable there, even according to their own standards. But even in that state, while he is now ordering his soldiers to say, take him and وَضْرِبْ أُنُقَهُ. This is the literal translation, chop off his neck. Just realize, all these people who are known as ISIS, they are all continuity of the same, mentality and same group. Even then, Imam Zainul Abidin doesn't stop. He says to his aunt, let me speak. And then he turns to Ibn Ziyad and he says, أَبِالْقَتْلِ تُحَدِّدُنِي Ibn Ziyad? Oh, Ibn Ziyad, you are threatening me with killing me? You think I'm afraid of dying? أَمَا عَلِمْتَ. Have you not known by now أَنَّ الْقَتْلَ لَنَا عَادَةً? That for me and my family to be killed for the sake of Allah has become a second nature for us? So don't threaten me by, saying that you're going to kill me. وَكَرَامَتُنَا مِنَ اللَّهِ شَهَادَةً. And Allah has honored us when we attain shahadat and martyrdom in His way. Salawat. This is shuja'at. This is courage. That even in that circumstances you are able to speak up whatever is haqq against a zalim like ibn Ziyad. In Sham, the whole base of the support of Muawiyah in Sham. When we use the term Sham, it's not just Syria of the present day. Sham includes Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and Palestine. Many times in this Middle Eastern conflict, we hear the Zionists and the Americans saying, oh, the Arabs have this dream of greater Syria. Well, this was greater Syria till the First War. Till the collapse of the Ottoman Empire. Even if you look at the letterheads printed of the U.S. Consulate General in Jerusalem in, let's say, 1910, and I've seen copies of those in historical documents, the address is given there and it says Jerusalem, Syria. So before the First War, this whole area was under Syria, under Sham. So you're talking about a large territory, and Muawiyah actually was able to gain this support by propaganda. These were the people who had become Muslims new. They had never seen Rasulullah, they had not been to Medina, they were not in touch with the Sahaba. Very rarely would somebody will come from Hijaz to Sham in that way. And whatever Islam they had learned was from Ali Abu Sufyan. And one of the things they were taught is that we are from Quraysh and we are from the family of the Prophet. So even the title of Ahlul Bayt has been usurped by that group. That is why this title, they invented for Muawiyah, Khalul Mu'mineen. Khalul Mu'mineen means what? Mu'mineen ke mamu. Because his sister was married to Rasulullah. So she becomes technically Ummul Mu'mineen, he being the brother becomes Khalul Mu'mineen. These were all titles invented to brainwash the people of Syria that we are very close to Rasulullah. And on the other hand, they would actually portray Ali and Ali as enemies of Rasulullah. So keep that in mind. Now that this caravan is now moving, and this background is very important even for the next narration I have. So when this caravan moved and reached to Damascus, outside the city, they had prepared celebrations for the victory of Yazid. And the people were basically happy that, the enemies of Rasulullah have been defeated. This is what was, fed to them. And this is where we see that when an ignorant person comes to the Imam would guide that person in a more polite manner, knowing that this person is ignorant and not somebody like Ibn Ziyad. One of the old and elderly person from Sham came close to the Imam when this caravan is now gradually being brought into the city of Damascus. And coming close to the Imam, he says in front of him, at the face of the Imam, Alhamdulillah alladhi ahlakakum wa amkan al-amil minka. We praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He destroyed you and He made it possible for our Amir and leader to gain victory over you. Imam realized that this person is ignorant. And so even in that state, at that moment, Imam Zainul Abideen looks for the opportunity to guide. And this is really amazing, if when we talk about guiding people, we also, I have to be prepared mentally or to study this and that. No. He's there, being taken as a prisoner there, going. The whole family is being displayed in a very humiliating manner. But even then, he's Imam-e-Noor. Wherever he sees potential of guidance, he will do his duty. And this is where Imam, says, Ya Shaykh, aqara'at al-Quran? Now he addresses him as an elderly, showing respect. O old man, have you read the Quran? And he says, yes, I read the Quran. Now Imam starts reciting ayat of Quran which are about Ahlul Bayt. He says, have you read this ayat? قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. where Allah talks about, loving the family of the Prophet? He says, yes. Then Imam says, فَنَحْنُ الْقُرْبَى يَا شَيْخ. That qurba mentioned in that ayat is me, it's our family. Then Imam says, هَلْ قَرَأْتَ وَأْتِ ذَا الْقُرْبَ حَقَّهُ. Have you read this ayat of Quran, where the Prophet is being told to give the share of the near and dear one to him? He says, yes, I have read. And Imam says, وَنَحْنُ الْقُرْبَى. Then Imam says, يا شيخ هل قرأت هذه الآية واعلموا أن ما غنمتم من شيء فإن لله خمسه وللرسول وللذي القربى. The ayat about khums. He says, yes, I have read it. Imam says again, the qurba there refers to us. Then Imam says, يا شيخ هل قرأت إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. And he says, yes, I read this ayat also. And Imam says, نحن أهل البيت الذين اختصنا الله بآية الطهارة. We are the Ahlul Bayt that Allah has chosen us and honored us with taharat and purity. After this 4 ayat, this old man says to the Imam, Billahi innakum hum. Now he wants to be sure. Oh Allah, by Allah, are you the people referred to in the Quran? And Imam says, Tallahi, by Allah, inna la nahnuhum min ghayri shakkin. Without any doubt, these ayat refer to us. وَحَقِّ جَدِّنَا. And in the name of my Jad Rasulullah, إِنَّنَا لَنَحْنُهُمْ. We are the people mentioned in these ayat. فَبَكَ الشَّيْخ وَرَمَى عَمَّامَتُهُ. This old man started crying. Threw down his amama, his turban. And then he raised his head up towards the heavens and he says, Allahumma inni abra'u ilayka min aduwwi ali Muhammad. Oh Allah, I do bara'at. I disassociate myself from those who are the enemies of Ali Muhammad. Salawat. See the change in the first sentence he had with the Imam. That praise to Allah who destroyed you. And what is the end? That, oh Allah, I disassociate myself from those who are the enemies of Ali Muhammad. And this is where we see that this is shuja'at, that even in that situation, Imam fulfills his duty and brings an ignorant person onto the right path. Salawat. When it comes to the people who are stubborn and who had hatred and bughz towards the Ahlul Bayt, Imam would not waste his time, but he would still respond to them in a way which will be very befitting and very biting in a way. There was one person by the name of Ibrahim bin Talha bin Ubaidullah from Banu Umayyah, and this is a time where he looks at Imam and he says, Ya Ali ibn Hussein, man ghalaba. He's taunting him. He's saying, oh Ali ibn Hussein, who is victorious now? And Imam realized, this person doesn't have any potential of guidance. But the way he responded to him, he says, إِذَا أَرَدْتَ أَن تَعْلَمْ مَنْ غَلَبْ. If you really want to know who is victorious, وَدَخْلَ وَقْتُ الصَّلَاةِ فَعَظِّمْ ثُمَّ عَقِمْ. When the time of namaz comes, you stand up and do the adhan and do the iqama, and you will know who is victorious. Because in adhan and iqama, it's my grandfather whose name is mentioned. Not anyone from Banu Umayyah. Salawat. And this is where we have to realize that, those who people among our Sunni world who still think that he was Sahabi and this and that, they do not realize that Muawiyah didn't even have any love for the Prophet. According to someone who is from inner circle, from one of the governors of Muawiyah in Kufa during his days. His son actually narrates an incident that my father had gone to the dinner. We were in Damascus. When he came back, he was very upset and angry, and I asked him what happened. And he says, this man has no respect for Rasulullah, referring to his own leader. He says, what happened? He says, we were sitting there and saying that, now your government is established. You are in full control of the Muslim empire. Now you should let go this business of, cursing Ali in the Friday khutbahs. It's overdoing now. And he became so angry. He said, I will not do that. I will not stop that. I want his name and memory to be erased from generations to come. I want children to grow up hearing that until they grow up and die hearing that. But, then they said, well, maybe you do something good that people will remember you. Do something khairat for the people. That is how your memory will last. He says, what is the use of it? Look at the first one. He came and he did this and that. Nobody remembers him. Look at the second one. He did this, expanded the Muslim empire. Look at Usman. They killed him. And then he says, but yet you see, every adhan, the name of this person is still there. So he has this jealousy against the name of Rasulullah in adhan. That his name is still there, but not the name of anyone else. So you say, what do you expect? Why should I expect them to remember me and my name by doing good to the people? And so this is where Imam actually says to this fellow from Banu Umayyah that if you really want to know who is victorious, the name of my grandfather is still there in the adhan and the iqamah. Salawat padhne ke baad. And the last, example of the jihad bil lisan of Imam Zainul Abideen refers to this, the two khutbahs which were given in the darbar of Yazid. The first one by Bibi Zainab, and the second one by Imam Zainul Abideen. And keep in mind what I had said earlier about Syria. And so the people there, they didn't know anything about the background of Muawiyah and his family. And they didn't know much about Amir al-Mu'minin and his family and their background. And so if you look at these two khutbahs, and I'm not talking about the khutbah of Bibi Zainab tonight, basically Zainab's khutbah was tabarra. She came and exposed the true nature of Banu Umayyah. What is their background? What is the role of Hind in the past history? What was the role of Abu Sufyan? And this is where, she says to Yazid, I don't expect any mercy from you because your mother is the one who actually tried to chew the liver or organ from Hamza, Sayyid al-Shuhada. So even in your nature, there is no mercy at all. And this is where she's connecting, Muawiyah with Yazid with Abu Sufyan and Hind. And so after she had basically shattered the false image of Banu Umayyah, this is where Yazid felt threatened. And this is where he calls his own khatib, who stood up, went on the minbar, and started saying, bad things about Amir al-Mu'minin and his family. It was at that moment that Imam Zainul Abideen stood up. While the khatib was still going on. And Imam says to him, وَيْلَكْ أَيِّهَا الْخَاطِبِ اشْتَرَيْتَ رِضَى الْمَخْلُوقِ بِصِدْقِ الْخَالِقِ. You have actually bought the pleasure of the people against the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَتَبَوَّى مَقْعَدَكَ مِنَ النَّارِ. You have secured your seat in the Jahannam by saying bad things about my grandfather and my family. And then he turns to Yazid and he says, أَتَأْذُنُ لِي أَنْ أَسْعُدَ هَذِهِ الْأَعْوَادِ فَتَتَكَلَّمْ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فِيهِنَّ لِلَّهِ رِضَى وَلَهَؤُلَاءِ الْجَالِسِينَ أَجْرٌ وَثَوَابٌ. He says to Yazid, allow me to get on هَذِهِ الْأَعْوَادِ, on this piece of wood. Choice of words by Imam is very important. He doesn't say member. What does he say? هذه الأعواد, this is piece of wood. It means that if this member is not being used for Allah, Rasul and the Imam, it is not a member. The sanctity of this is not because of how it was made or the shape, or how beautiful it looks, although sometimes it's more comfortable than it should be, but the sanctity of this is by what is being preached. If you are talking about bringing people closer to Allah, Rasul and the Imam, then this is a member. Otherwise, this is just a simple podium or a piece of wood, nothing else. So Imam says, allow me to get on هذه الأعواد فأتكلم, so that I may say few words in which Allah will be pleased and the audience will have ajr and sawab, reward and sawab for listening to me. But Yazid knew that if I allow him to come on the member, things will change. So he refused. But now people were already agitated. They heard Zainab. And then they looked at Imam Zainul Abideen and said, he seems to be not even feeling well. And he's a young man, he's your prisoner. Allow him to speak. We want to hear. And it was because of the insistence of the people that Yazid was forced to allow Imam Zainul Abideen to go on the member. And Imam there basically gave a khutbah. I would like to summarize here, where he says, "O people, you should know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, 6 qualities in my family. And we have been honored by 7 individuals." He says, "أُعْطِينَ الْعِلْمُ وَالْحِلْمُ وَالسَّمَاحَ وَالْفَصَاحَ وَالشَّجَاعَةَ وَالْمُحَبَّةَ فِي قُلُوبِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ." That we have been blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by knowledge, forbearance, grace, by eloquence, by courage, shuja'at, and by our love in the hearts of the mu'mineen. Allah has blessed us with these 6 things. وَفُضِّلْنَا, and we have been given higher status over the ummah because of 7 individuals. مِنَّ النَّبِيِّ الْمُخْتَارِ Muhammad. Salawat padne para. So Bibi Zainab basically exposed Banu Umayyah doing tabarra. Imam Zainul Abidin comes on the minbar and now he's doing tawalla. Now he's introducing himself and his family to the people. So he says, we are preferred, number 1, because of the Prophet who is the chosen Prophet. وَمِنَّا الصِّدِّيقِ, referring to Amir al-Mu'mineen. Siddiq al-Akbar is Ali. وَمِنَّا الطَّيَّارِ, Ja'far al-Tayyar is from my family. Number 4, وَمِنَّا أَسَدُ اللَّهِ وَأَسَدُ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ, Hamza Sayyid al-Shuhada is from us. وَمِنَّا سَيِّدُ النِّسَاءِ الْعَالَمِينَ فَاطِمَةَ al-Butul, Fatima is from us. وَمِنَّا صِبْتَ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةِ, the 2 grandsons of the Prophet in this ummah are from us, who are Sayyid al-Shabab Ahl al-Jannah. Salawat padne ek baar. So this was a summary of what is my background. Then he says, فَمَنْ عَرَفَنِي فَقَدْ عَرَفَنِي, whoever knows me knows me. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَعْرَفَنِي أَنْبَأْتُهُ بِحَسَبِي وَنَصَبِي. And those who don't know me, I'll give you the details. And now he starts. This is a long khutbah that I'll just summarize it. First, he relates himself to the holy places of Islam. He says, أَنَا إِبْنَ مَكَّةَ وَمِنَا, I am the son of Makkah and Mina. أَنَا إِبْنُ زَمْزَمْ وَالسَّفَا, all the names you already know. Then he comes to the Prophet. He says, أَنَا إِبْنَ مَنْ حَمَلَ الزَّكَاةِ بِأَطْرَافِ الرِّدَاءِ أَنَا إِبْنُ خَيْرُ مَنْ اعْتَذَرَ وَارْتَدَى. I am the best of those who carried actually the zakat and his rida, the one who was the best in his clothing, the one who was best in the way he walked. I am the best one who did tawaf, as son of the one who was best in doing tawaf and sa'i. أنا ابن خير من حج ولبى, I am the son of the best one who did hajj and did talbiyah and said labbaik Allahumma labbaik. أنا ابن من حمل على البراق في الهواء. I am the son of the one who was carried by Buraq to the space, to the heavens. أنا ابن من أسري به من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى. I am the son of the one who was carried from Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa in this journey of Mi'raj. فسبحان من عسرى. أنا ابن من بلغ به جبرائيل إلى سدرة المنتهى. I am the son of one who reached to the highest level, which is known as Sidratul Muntaha. أنا ابن محمد المصطفى. صلوات पढ़ने के बाद. Then he goes to his grandfather. أنا ابن علي المرتضى. أنا ابن من ضرب خراطيم الخلق حتى قالوا لا إله إلا الله. I am son of the one who used his sword in order to promote Islam. I am the one who actually fought in the presence of Rasulullah to defend this Islam. He fought with 2 swords and 2 spears. وحاجر الحجرتين وبايع البيعتين وقاتل ببدر وحنين. I'm just leaving all these. You remember all that. أنا ابن صالح المؤمنين, referring to the ayah Surah Tahrim, where Salih al-Mu'minin is referred to Amir al-Mu'minin. I am the son of وارث النبيين وقاطئ الملحدين ويعصوب المسلمين ونور المجاهدين وزين العابدين وتاج البكائين وعصبر الصابرين وأفضل القائمين من آل ياسين ورسول رب العالمين. أنا ابن المؤيد بجبرائيل. I am the son of the one who was supported by Jibra'il والمنصور بميكائيل, and also helped by Mikail. وأنا ابن المحامي. أنا حرم المسلمين وقاتل الناكسين والقاسطين والمارقين والمجاهد أعداء الناصبين وأفخر من مشي من قريش أجمعين, and the one who was the most honorable walking among the Quraysh on the face of this earth. Salawat पढ़ने के बाद. وأنا من أجاب أول من أجاب واستجاب لله من المؤمنين. I am son of the one who was the first one to respond to the call of Allah and Rasul. أقدم السابقين. Among those who were the first one, Ali was ahead of all of them. وقاسم المعتدين ومبير المشركين وسهم من مرام الله. My grandfather Ali was an arrow from the arrows of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he hit somebody, it was not Ali hitting, but it was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hitting that person. وَبُسْتَانُ حِكْمَةِ اللَّهِ. My grandfather was the garden of the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ذَاكَ جَدِّي عَلِي بِنْ أَبِي طَالِبٍ. Salawat पढ़ने के बाद. And then he comes to Fatima al-Zahra. أنا ابن فاطمة الزهراء. أنا ابن سيدة النساء. أنا ابن الطهر البتول. أنا ابن بضعة الرسول. And now he comes to his own father. But the tone changes. The style changes. When it came to Rasulullah, he used his fadail. When it came to introducing his grandfather Ali, he talked about the qualities of Ali. When it came to his grandmother Fatima, very brief, but he mentioned her fadail. But when it came to Ali, his own father, Imam का अंदाज़ बयान जो है बदल गया. फरमाते हैं अना अब्न अल-मुरम्मल बिद्दिमा. हम उसके फ़र्जंद हैं कि जिसका जिस्म जो है खून में गलता है. अना अब्न ज़बीह करबला. हम उसके फ़र्जंद हैं कि जिसको करबला में ज़बह कर दिया गया था. देखें, हमारे आइम्मा में शहादत सिर्फ तलवार के ज़रिए सिर्फ 2 को मिली है, एक अमीर अल-मोमिनीन और हुसैन को. लेकिन फ़र्क है दोनों में. अमीर अल-मोमिनीन को ज़रबत लगी और 2 दिन के बाद शहादत वाक़ हुई है, लेकिन हुसैन इब्न अली तो ज़बह किए गए. इसीलिए ज़बी सिर्फ हुसैन को कहते हैं और किसी और को नहीं कहते हैं. अना इब्न ज़बीह करबला. अना इब्न मन बका अलैहिल जिन्न फ़िज़्ज़ुलमा. हम उसके फ़र्जंद हैं कि जिस पर रात की तारीकी में जिन जो है रोते थे. वनाहत अलैहि तैर फिल हवा. और परिंदे जो है हवा में भी मेरे बाबा को देख के रोते थे. امام روتے رہے یہاں تک کہ اثر جو ہے مجمع میں بھی ہونے لگا. یہ انقلابی کیفیت پیدا ہو گئی وہاں مجمع میں، اور یزید خود اپنی جان کو خطرے میں محسوس کرتا ہے، اور اسی لیے لوگوں کو امام زین العابدین علیہ السلام کی باتوں سے دور رکھنے کے لیے وہ مؤذن کو حکم دیتا ہے کہ تم اذان کہو. وہ جانتا تھا کہ امام اہل بیت کے فرد ہیں، اہل بیت کے خاندان والے اذان اور نماز کا احترام کرتے ہیں. اذان شروع ہو جائے گی تو امام خاموش ہو جائیں گے، اور یہی ہوا ہے کہ مؤذن نے جو ہے وہ تکبیر شروع کی ہے، امام خاموش ہو جاتے ہیں، لیکن امام نے اپنی جگہ نہیں چھوڑی ہے. جب مؤذن نے اللہ اکبر کہا امام نے بھی دہرایا، جب مؤذن اشہد ان لا الہ الا اللہ کہا امام نے بھی دہرایا اور کہا کہ میرا پورا وجود گواہی دیتا ہے کہ خدا صرف ایک ہے. لیکن جب مؤذن نے کہا اشہد ان محمد رسول اللہ، اس وقت امام جو ہے مؤذن سے کہتے ہیں کہ اسی محمد کا واسطہ کچھ لمحے کے لیے رک جاؤ، اور پھر یزید کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں، کہتے ہیں یا یزید محمد وہذا جدی امجد، یہ محمد جن کی نبوت کی گواہی تیرے دربار میں دی جا رہی ہے میرے جد ہے یا تیرے جد ہیں؟ اگر تو کہتا ہے کہ تیرے جد ہے تو تو جھوٹا ہے، اور اگر محمد میرے جد ہیں تو یہ بتاؤ کہ میرے ہاتھوں میں یہ ہتھکڑیاں کیوں لگی ہیں؟ اگر محمد میرے جد ہیں کہ یہ گردن میں طوق خاردار کیوں لگی ہے؟ اگر محمد میرے جد ہیں تو میرے پیر میں زنجیر کیوں لگی ہے؟ اگر محمد میرے جد ہیں تو میری ماں بہن اور پھوپھی کو بے مقن و چادر اس دربار میں کیوں لایا گیا ہے؟ اگر محمد میرے جد ہیں تو میرے بابا کو کیوں کربلا میں ذبح کیا گیا؟ اگر محمد میرے جد ہیں تو کیوں ان کے لاش پر گھوڑے دوڑائے گئے؟ اگر محمد میرے جد ہیں تو میرے بابا کی لاش کو کیوں بے گور و کفن 3 دن پر زمین کربلا پر چھوڑ دے گیا؟ الا لعنت اللہ علی القوم الظالمین سیعلم الذین ظلموا ای منقلب ینقلبون. خداوند اس قربات قبول فرما، ہمارے گناہ کو بخش دے، ہماری توفیقات میں اضافہ فرما. خداوند جہاں بھی مومنین ہیں، جہاں علی کے ماننے والے ہیں، ان کو اپنے حفظ امان میں رکھ. اسلامی دنیا میں امن و امان کی فضا پیدا کر، تکفیری افواج کی تمام صلاحیتوں کو نیست و نابود فرما. امام کے ظہور میں تاجل فرما. ربنا تقبل منا انک انت السمیع العلیم.